Hello and welcome to Indian Express Opinion. Our top story today is the brand new initiative taken by the Narendra Modi government in Jammu and Kashmir by appointing a former head of the Intelligence Bureau, Dineshwar Sharma, to become the government's latest point person on talks to start a dialogue with Kashmiri interlocutors. And I have with me Muzammil Jamil, senior editor of the Indian Express, to explain this vastly complex story. Muzammil, what is the importance of the fact that the Narendra Modi government has finally appointed a point person to start talks with Jammu and Kashmir?
I think it's very important because this government never believed in sending an interlocutor there. They believed that the only way to deal with Kashmir is through security measures.
Okay.
And it's very clear. And you have 3.5 years have passed. And they've been following only that policy.
What do you mean by that?
That BJP leaders, even one or two ministers also, were publicly saying that there is no Kashmir issue.
I see.
So what do we need to talk? Who do we need to talk?
They only looked at it in terms of terrorism.
And
both across the border and the line of control, as well as within the valley.
Yes, and they did not look at Hurriyat or separatists as anyway genuine stakeholders. So I think 3.5 years they tried everything. They tried to send National Investigating Agency there. They gave a complete free hand to army. They let police do whatever they want.
They tried pellet guns.
They tried pellet guns. Pellet gun is is an old story now. It's small.
Okay.
What happened in last 6-7 months. They killed 150 militants, young local militants, and they kept on doing this. And the end result was that nothing changed. The end result was nothing changed. So I think there are two important, ramifications of this. One is that I don't think that BJP government has, is using this, process to tide over any crisis.
Okay.
The way previous governments used to do.
So do they believe that there is a crisis in the first place?
I think that 3.5 years later, when they have sent an interlocutor, they have done it in a different way. I will give you one very interesting comparison.
Okay.
When UPA sent interlocutors,
which is M.M. Ansari,
yes.
the late Dilip Pargaonkar and Radha Kumar.
They did not own them up. They did not give them any authority.
Okay.
This government, what they have done, they have, sent this, former security
former chief of the
IB, but they have also given him a government status. They have made him, cabinet secretary rank, official.
So that means that he will report. Who is he going to report to?
No. So see what happened last time when Chidambaram sent 3 people and they filed a report. The Home Ministry website had a disclaimer
that this report was not.
Is not.
But they didn't really belong to the Home Ministry,
yes.
or it was not sanctioned. It was sanctioned by the Home Ministry.
See, now this government has not done that. They have actually appointed.
So who is he going to report to? Do we know?
I think he will report to Home Minister, but I think that they are still trying to understand what they need to do.
So
I don't think they at this point of time know how what will be the outcome.
But it is an about turn, isn't it?
Of course, it's an about turn. Of course, what I'm trying to explain to you is that for 3.5 years they tried muscular, policy. They tried to kill people. They tried to,
They
push
tried
people.
to stamp out the problem through
using guns, using security measures. Now, after 3.5 years, I think they've realized that will not work. Even NIA has limitations, even police has limitations, army has limitations. We need to send somebody there to talk.
So who are they going to talk to? Are they going to talk to the Hurriyat?
I think yesterday when I heard Home Minister, he was very clear.
Yeah.
He did not say that they will not speak to Hurriyat.
Right.
He said that he is authorized to go and speak to whosoever he wants.
And there's also a very interesting phrase in the statement which talks about the legitimate aspirations of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. What does that mean? Legitimate aspirations.
We also have to understand that BJP has a political constituency. BJP is going into 2-3 elections, very soon.
That's right.
I don't think they will tell you everything in plain black and white.
And right at the beginning.
Yeah, I think that what they have said is that we will send him and he will see who he will talk. See, the way I look at this problem, I don't think that any interlocutor is going to solve this problem. I think that the Kashmir problem is so complex that, anybody, a former IB chief going there will not be able to solve. Unless there is a political view of a completely different kind.
So is he going to be a mediator between the Mehbooba Mufti government and the centre?
No, what I'm saying is that it is the one of the most positive aspects of this entire process is that government of India, Narendra Modi government, which is, believes in Hindutva, which believes that there is no problem in Kashmir, there's no political problem in Kashmir. They have also reached to that stage where they think that nothing can be done without talking. Mm-hmm. I think that is the takeaway in this entire process.
And that's a very important one.
Yes. And I also, my sources tell me that Mr. Sharma is not going to be alone, there. They may also send 1 or 2 more people with him. Mm-hmm. He may have a team. There may be some politicians also.
Now, Muzammil, tell me, this must have come as a huge relief to Mehbooba Mufti, who has been talking about having talks for the longest time, since she became Chief Minister, actually.
I think that's true. But I also think that, it will, what will be the outcome? How will things, shape up in next 3, 4, 5 months? Mm-hmm. Will determine whether it will be good for her or not. For example, if tomorrow Centre's interlocutor goes to Kashmir and does not speak to Hurriyat, mm-hmm. or if the government of India is not able to balance between its security, imperatives and this political initiative.
Yeah.
So, for example, today they arrested Salahuddin's son.
Yes.
In a case which is, 6 years old.
What is the importance of that? What are the ramifications of that?
What I'm saying
After all, Salahuddin lives in Pakistan.
That's right. But, whenever you start talking, one of the most important things is that you, cannot have both war and peace at the same time.
Right.
So you give some sort of you create that atmosphere, space for people to come forward and try to see what will happen.
So how is the arrest of Salahuddin's son in Delhi? How has that gone down in Kashmir?
I don't know. How will it go down in Kashmir? I don't think that Salahuddin's children have been involved in anything till now. We haven't heard. Mm-hmm. This guy is some agriculture, official.
So they're using the children to get to their father?
No, I don't know that. But what I'm saying is that, the symbolic,
value of
this arrest. So, I think that we will have to see what will happen.
Suppose he doesn't. Suppose Mr. Dineshwar Sharma does not speak to the Hurriyat. Then what happens? Will that be a credible initiative?
See, there have been scores of initiatives.
Right.
Most of them have not spoken to Hurriyat for various reasons.
Okay.
I do not think that we are at a stage where we can judge whether this initiative will be able to, move this entire process forward towards any resolution. Uh-huh. I'm not even talking about that at this point of time. I think that for the last 2 years, last July, in fact, we have seen, only one language being spoken about Kashmir. Each evening you look at television, you will see hatred, you will see, bad blood, you will see
killings
all
on both
sorts
sides.
of things. And you will see killings. So you will see blood, each day.
So the first thing that to be done is to have a cessation of hostilities.
No, at this point of time, the discussion has changed. Now we are talking for last 15, 16 hours, 20 hours. We are talking about talks, we're talking about interlocutor, we're talking about somebody going to speak to people. So I think that is a huge shift in itself.
So the Narendra Modi government has been quite smart and very intelligent about it. So they're changing the message by trying to transform the message from being a security-dominated message to one of peace and dialogue. I think that's a big achievement.
You can look at it. You can look at it both ways. You can, it can also be, that your policies that you had for last 1.5 years, 2 years, have failed. That you were not able to do what you wanted to.
And now you're being forced to talk to the people.
Yeah, that's one way. That's one way. The other way is that unlike previous governments who initiated dialogue immediately after every crisis, and the aim of those processes, those initiatives, was to tide over the immediate crisis and not to resolve anything. We can also see that, we can also look at it in a different manner and say that, okay, 3.5 years, there was a discussion going on, they had particular way of looking at it. Now they are thinking of going into dialogue.
Okay, Muzammil, let me bring you to another aspect of this very complex issue, which is Pakistan. Now, Pakistan has been a silent actor in the whole Kashmir process. Would you say that the appointment of Mr. Dineshwar Sharma means that the dialogue will be between Delhi and Srinagar and Jammu, but not between Delhi and Islamabad? And if it's not between Delhi and Islamabad, because we know that Mr. Narendra Modi has said that there will be no talks until terrorism comes to an end, well, how will that play out in Kashmir?
If you remember, when Narendra Modi took oath of office,
and he invited the Prime Minister of Pakistan then,
he was there. Yeah. So while they had a completely different policy towards Kashmir, they actually were talking to Pakistan. They still are talking to Pakistan. They might not be, it might not be, public meetings, but they are talking to Pakistan.
Okay.
So, each of these governments also had ceasefire with Pakistan on the line of control. We never have seen ceasefire inside the valley. So India-Pakistan is talking.
Message.
India-Pakistan has had ceasefire. India-Pakistan has, been communicating with each other. Vis-a-vis Kashmir in last 3.5 years, Modi government's only policy was determined by security.
Okay, so this conversation between Delhi and Srinagar is very important.
It's important
precisely because it's trying to change that dynamic.
Yes.
Now tell me, Muzammil, the US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is arriving in Delhi. There will be talks between him and the Prime Minister tomorrow. Do you think that this Kashmir initiative has been taken in the light of this big visit by the Americans?
I think that may be, that is also possible, but I don't think they would have done that vis-a-vis Kashmir. Then they would have done it vis-a-vis Pakistan.
I see.
I think that the American pressure would be more to resolve, issues with Pakistan and start a dialogue with Pakistan.
Okay.
Because I don't think Americans are that concerned about how many people will die in Srinagar than a nuclear, flashpoint that India and Pakistan is.
Okay, that's a tough statement to say, but Muzammil, thank you so much for your time. I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there, but you've heard Muzammil describe this very, very important and unfolding political story between Delhi and Srinagar. We hope that Mr. Dineshwar Sharma will talk to all sides. Meanwhile, thank you so much for watching.